Welcome back to Living in the Culture. If this is your first time here, this podcast exists to support and inspire the next generation of leaders and professionals without asking you to compromise who you are. Today, we're talking about something that holds a lot of people back before they even get started. The idea that you have to look the part in order to lead. Somewhere along the way, leadership and professionalism got tied to an image, a certain look, a certain style, a certain way of speaking, dressing, or showing up. And if you don't fit that image, you're often made to feel like you're not ready or not professional enough. But here's the truth: looking the part has never been what makes someone a leader. Leadership isn't about appearance, it's about competence, it's about consistency, it's about character. Real leaders solve problems, they take responsibility, they show discipline when no one's watching. And none of those qualities requires you to erase your culture, your personality, or your identity. Some of the most effective leaders don't fit the traditional mold, and that's exactly why they stand out. I've seen it firsthand. Talented people second guess themselves, not because they lack ability, but because they don't look like what leadership has been portrayed to be. They start adjusting, toning things down, trying to blend in, and slowly confidence fades. Not because they're incapable, but they've been convinced that who they are is not enough. That's a lie. When you focus too much on looking the part, you stop focusing on becoming prepared. You trade growth for approval. You trade originality for acceptance. You start playing a role instead of building real skill. And the truth is, people don't follow looks, they follow credibility. If you want to lead, focus on this: master your craft, be dependable, communicate clearly, show integrity, and keep learning. When you do those things consistently, appearance becomes secondary. Respect follows results. Early in your career, your biggest focus should be gaining experience, not titles, not money, not prestige. Experience. Because experience compounds in a way nothing else does. When you're early in the game, every role, every project, every challenge is an opportunity to build your toolbox. You're learning how organizations operate, how leaders think, how decisions get made, and how problems actually get solved in the real world. That's why it's so important to invest in yourself and make self development a priority. Too many people treat their careers like it's something that just happens to them. But the people who grow the fastest treat their career like a personal development project. That means asking yourself questions like, what skills do I need to develop this year? What experiences will stretch me the most? Who can mentor me or expose me to new perspectives? And one of the most important things you should be doing is having development conversations with your leader at least once a year, but ideally more often than that. A good leader should know what you're trying to become, what skills you want to develop, What opportunities would challenge you? Because if your leader understands your goals, they can put you in positions that will accelerate your growth. And here's the key a lot of people miss: your early career isn't about being comfortable, it's about being exposed, exposed to different problems, different teams, different leadership styles, different ways of thinking. Every one of those experiences sharpens your perspective. And over time, those experiences stack up. They turn into judgment, confidence, and leadership ability. So instead of asking, is this job perfect for me right now? A better question early in your career is, what will this experience teach me? Because if you keep choosing experiences that stretch you, challenge you, and develop you, you'll wake up one day with 10 years of real capability, not just 10 years of doing the same thing. And that's when doors start to open. But when that opportunity comes, you have to be ready. Now, this connects to another concept that I think is incredibly important in anyone's career: the idea that preparation meets opportunity. A lot of people think success is about luck. They see people get promoted, get selected for a major project, or step into a leadership role. They say, man, they got lucky. But most of the time, what looks like luck from the outside is actually years of preparation meeting the right moment. Opportunities show up in everyone's career. A new initiative starts. A leader needs someone to step up. A problem needs to be solved. A position opens up that requires someone ready to take ownership. But when those opportunities show up, they usually don't give you months or years to get ready. The preparation should already be happening long before the opportunity arises. That means you're constantly developing your skills. You're paying attention to how your organization works. You're volunteering for projects that stretch you. You're learning from leaders around you. You're asking questions that deepen your understanding. You're putting in the work before anyone is watching. Because when the moment comes, when someone says, we need someone to lead this, or we need someone who can solve this problem, you're already positioned to step forward. Preparation builds confidence. When you've spent time learning, developing, and challenging yourself, you're not stepping into the opportunity hoping you can figure it out. You already know you've built the foundation and can handle the responsibility. And the reality is, leaders notice preparation. They notice the person that asks thoughtful questions. They notice the person who takes ownership of problems. They notice the person who consistently delivers results and keeps improving. Those are the people that get trusted with bigger opportunities. Preparation also gives you something that's extremely valuable: perspective. When you've been exposed to different teams, different challenges, you start to see problems from multiple angles. You begin to understand the bigger picture of how things connect. That perspective eventually develops into leadership judgment. So instead of trying to make every step of your career perfect, focus on making every step developmental. Ask yourself, is this helping me grow? Is this expanding my skill set? Is this exposing me to something new? Because if you keep choosing experiences that stretch you and challenge you, those experiences start to stack up. And over time, those experiences turn into capability. They turn into confidence. They turn into leadership ability. They turn into the kind of perspective that organizations value. And then one day an opportunity shows up, maybe a leadership role, maybe a project that changes your trajectory, highly visible. To everyone else, it might look like you got lucky. But what really happened, something very simple. Preparation met opportunity. And when those two things come together, that's when careers truly start to accelerate. This is where self expression matters. What you wear should support confidence, not suppress it. Your clothing should help you show up as your best self, not someone else's version of acceptable. That's the mindset behind living in the culture. We believe professionalism and self expression can coexist. You don't have to dress down your identity to level up your life. If you've ever felt pressured to change how you look in order to be taken seriously, hear this clearly. You don't need to look the part, you need to be prepared for the role. Your discipline will speak, your work will speak, your leadership will speak. Leadership isn't about fitting in, it's about standing firm in who you are while doing the work required to grow. Don't chase an image, build excellence. If today's episode resonated with you, subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to one of our social media outlets, one of our social media platforms, and share it with someone who needs this reminder. At Living in the Culture, we're building leaders who are confident, capable, and authentic. Until next time, stay true, stay disciplined, and keep climbing. This is Living in the Culture.